Now we are going to start with the first gas law, that is the Boyle's law, right. First of all, you should know that what actually, like, who is the one who gave this law and when. So it was given by Robert Boyle in 1662, and you know that what this law is basically based on a pressure volume relationship. It is based on pressure volume relationship. Actually, he performed certain experiments, and I am just going to show you that experiment, what actually it was. Suppose I have a cylinder, right, in which we have gas molecules, and it is obviously fitted with a piston. Now I am going to apply an external pressure from here. So what is going to happen? Obviously the piston is going to move downward. So we see that when the piston moves downward, or when you increase the pressure, or when you apply an external pressure, it is affecting the volume also, because here the volume is something V, but here the volume is not equal to V. So what you see that when you increase the pressure, the volume is decreasing. You can see that here the gas molecules are occupying this much volume, and in this it is occupying only this much volume. Now if you release the pressure, like if you release this pressure, if you move this piston up again, so it will turn again back into this kind of thing. So that means, like if you apply an external pressure, the volume obviously gets decreased, and if you decrease that pressure, the volume starts increasing again. But this actually happen only if you see this at constant temperature and for fixed amount of gas, right. So he performed an experiment based on this same principle, and he made a generalization by giving a Boyle's law. He said that at constant temperature for fixed amount of gas, pressure applied is inversely proportional to volume occupied by gas. Again, he said that at constant temperature, like that means this is a condition that the temperature should remain constant, and it should be for a fixed amount of gas also. Then the pressure applied is inversely proportional to volume occupied by the gas, and you have already seen that when we were increasing the pressure, the volume was decreasing, and when I was releasing the pressure, the volume starts expanding, or you can say the gas molecule starts occupying a larger volume. So this is what is the Boyle's law. So he made a mathematical conclusion that the pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. And suppose if I have two gases, or if I talk about only a particular gas, if I say that a gas is at pressure P1 initially and volume V1, now its pressure is changed somewhat to P2, and its volume also get affected and becomes V2. So in this case our relation becomes P1 V1 is equal to P2 P2. The reason being because when we will solve this mathematical expression, we will remove a proportionality sign, we will put this, and we see that PV is something equal to constant. So for like if you have a gas initially at pressure P1 and V1 and you change it to P2 V2, so it becomes this P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So this is what is the Boyle's law. So now I am going to explain it with a logical experiment. Suppose I have a balloon, right? I have a balloon. Obviously you know that this is a balloon which is filled with a gas. It is filled with a gas, and the gas, the temperature of the gas and the mass of the gas is being fixed. Now what I am doing is I am applying pressure from outside. I have a balloon and I am applying pressure, external pressure from outside. So what happens as you apply more and more pressure, so what happens, the balloon starts squeezing. Like if you apply pressure, it will squeeze up to this. If you will apply more pressure, it will squeeze like this, right? So that means as you are increasing the pressure, the balloon is squeezing. That means the same number of gas molecules are occupying the smaller area, or you can say the small number, or you can say the volume is getting decreased. So this is what is the logical experiment. If you want to test this kind of Boyle's law in a lab, then also you can do it. So you can just, how you can do it, take a container, place a balloon, a fully blown balloon in it, and take a pump from which you can just, you can say, fill the air inside. So what is happening here? I am just pumping it, and what happens, the air is going inside, right? So what happens, as more and more air goes inside, that means the air is increasing the pressure. You will see that the size of the the balloon goes on decreasing. So that means when you are pumping the air in, the pressure is increasing and the size of the volume, the volume of the size or the volume of the balloon is decreasing. That means it is somewhat squeezing itself. And what is the reason behind? The reason is the pressure what you are applying, right? So the pressure which I am talking every time, I am just taking into consideration the pressure. Keep in mind the pressure is not the internal pressure of the gas. I am talking about the external pressure which we are applying from outside, right? So this is what is the Boyle's law. Now he tried to explain it graphically also. So he plotted a graph between P and V at constant temperatures, right? So each curve corresponds to isotherm. Each curve corresponds to isotherm, that means constant temperature. So whenever you plot a graph between P versus V or P versus 1 by V, something, anything, P versus V at constant temperature, each line corresponds to an isotherm. So this is what I have for you. This is an isotherm at 200 Kelvin. This is the isotherm at this temperature. This is the isotherm at 600 Kelvin. All the lines which you are obtaining actually by plotting P versus V at fixed temperature, that is called as isotherm. So as you can see, I have plotted at different temperatures, and what you get to see that they actually indicate a curved line. So that means when we are increasing the pressure, volume is decreasing. When we are decreasing the volume, the pressure is increasing. That means vice versa. They are inversely proportional. Likewise, we have plotted an isotherm in this way also, in which we have plotted a graph between P versus 1 by V. So as we know, they are inversely proportional, so they will vary like this. So we get a steep lines, and these lines are occurring at fixed temperature. Again, isotherm, this is an isotherm, this is an isotherm, this is an isotherm. So each line corresponds, corresponds to a fixed temperature, that is something called as this thing. And when you will see that, the T3 is more steep as compared to T1. So that means T3 is more as compared to T2 and T1. And what is the reason actually behind that, we will be discussing, because here what we are considering, like everything, the Boyle's law is not, you can say, is shown by the only ideal gases. Right, it is not shown by the real gases, and you know that there is a difference between the real and the ideal gases. Real gases also behave as an ideal gas, but at specific condition, that is the high pressure and low temperature. This definitely I am going to take after a few topics. So just for this moment, we will just keep this answer question unanswered, why this is greater or which is lesser one, right, because I will be taking this in the few next topics. So at this moment, just make you yourself familiar with the Boyle's law. So this is what is the Boyle's law. Now, what are the conclusions you can make actually out of this Boyle's law? The first conclusion I think you can make is this shows that gases are compressible. The first conclusion is that the gases are compressible. I'll write here, gases are somewhat compressible. Second is that when you apply pressure, what happens actually? The same number of molecules occupy a smaller area. As you can see here, there I have, suppose if I consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 molecules, gas molecules, right? So when I apply a pressure, the same number of molecules are occupying a smaller area. See, again here there are 8 molecules only. So that means when they are occupying this, or you can say again, if you apply pressure, the same number of molecules are occupying the same number of same number of occupy a smaller space. That means they somehow becomes denser. And you know that we can also relate the density with the pressure. See how? We know that density is like from Boyle's law, what we know, PV is equal to K. We can also write V is equal to K upon P, right? We can write that again. Now we know if we talk about density, it is nothing but mass upon volume. So I can substitute this value of V from this to this. So what do I get? I get D is equal to mk into P. So as we know that for this Boyle's law we are keeping the mass constant. I told you when we started that the mass and the temperature is being constant, and again K is again a constant. So this indicates that density is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. That more you will apply a pressure, the density will go on increasing. And as I've told you in this also, that when I was applying a pressure, the same number of gas molecules occupy a small area. That means you can say the volume is decreasing, and if the volume decrease, obviously the density will increase, right? So that means when you apply a pressure, density of the gas obviously gets increased. So this is what is the conclusion you can make on the basis of the Boyle's law. Now, any practical significance which I want to share is that yes, the altitude sickness. What happens, see, when you climb high or when you go to an altitude, you often encounter altitude sickness, right? What is that? It is that you have a feeling of nausea, feeling like that, you feel like vomiting or you feel like fainting, right, sometimes, right? It is not with everyone, but most of the people, they feel like that. Even I feel like that when I go to hills. So what is the reason behind that? The reason is that when you climb hills, when you go up, when you go at certain height, the pressure of air there is low actually. The pressure of air is low. And as we know that pressure is directly proportional to density, so that means pressure low, so that means density is low. That means air is somewhat less dense. Less dense means mass per unit volume is less as compared to, as we found on the plane, it is actually less on the hills, on the height, right? So that means the oxygen molecules which are available for breathing actually, they are few in number. So that means we are inhaling less oxygen, and when we are inhaling less oxygen, we have a feeling of that nausea, or what we called it as altitude sickness. We feel like that, and you know that is the reason, that is actually a practical application or a significance where you can see that the Boyle's law is actually happening in the daily routine, right? So this is what is the reason. Now what is like, if you get a question like that why a person suffers an altitude sickness, you will say that it is, we can explain it actually on the basis of Boyle's law. As we go on height, the pressure of air decrease there, and as we know the pressure is directly proportional to density. So when the pressure gets decreased, obviously the density gets decreased. That means density of air is somewhat less dense. Less dense means that the mass per unit volume available for the oxygen molecules available are actually less. So that means less oxygen available outside, so obviously it is going less inside, and when it is going less inside, obviously we'll feel, we'll have a awkward kind of feeling, that means a nausea kind of feeling, and that is something called as altitude sickness. So this is what is the Robert Boyle, this is the Boyle's law given by Robert Boyle. Now we'll be taking up a simple numerical problem based on that. See, what is this? It is a balloon filled with hydrogen. We have a balloon which is filled with hydrogen and at room temperature, right? We have already a balloon which is filled with hydrogen and it is at room temperature, right? Now what we are going to do, that it is written that it will actually burst if the pressure exceeds 0.2 bar. So that means this is a limit that up to this limit only the balloon can actually you can say it can tolerate will be a correct word, that it will actually can tolerate only up to the pressure this thing. So I'll write that P2 is my 0.2 bar, that means it can tolerate pressure only up to this point, right? And initially now it is at 1 bar, so that means P1 is 1 bar. Volume of gas initially is 2.27 liter, and we have to find that up to what volume can the balloon be expanded, that means what can be the new volume it can tolerate. So we know that from Boyle's law, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So simple, we have already done here, right? So I will be putting first, see, whenever you start a numerical, the first thing is to check the units, because everything should be in SI units and even the units should be same. So bar, volume liters, again it's all same. 1 into 2.27 is equal to 0.2 into V2. So V2 will be something 1 into 2.27 divided by 0.2. So this will be something, you can I think solve the calculation, and this will be something equal to this much. I'll write X here. x liters. So this is what is the Boyle's law. I think you got it in a correct manner. So whenever you get a question like based on this, so what try to explain on basis of any experiment, either take the slender one experiment or take this balloon one experiment, just try to explain it, journalize it, write the mathematical expression, it's very important, right. So first write the first mathematical expression, then take it for 2 pressures, 2 volumes, explain isotherms, write a conclusion that what actually information do you get from that, and also mention the significance, if there is any practical significance which you can see in your daily routine, just write it down, right. So this is what is the Boyle's law.